I'm going to be telling you 15 things I wish I knew before visiting the Philippines. The Philippines is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, but it is not as easy to travel to compared to places like Thailand and Bali. But don't worry, I'm here to help you out and make sure you are super prepared for your trip to the Philippines.
Tears in your eyes at every step of our goodbye.
If you don't know me, I'm Joel and I've spent 3 months traveling the Philippines, and it is honestly one of my favorite countries. In my opinion, it's got some of the best coral reefs and beaches in the entire world. But let's start with number one, and that is when to go. So most of the Philippines dry season is from December to April. However, in Siargao, it's a little bit different, and it's from March to October. The dry season is often the most touristy time of the year, so that's just something to keep in mind, and know that there will be more tourists there, but not as much rain. So number two, let's talk about local kind of transportation and how to get around, because it's actually a little bit different from other Southeast Asian countries. So number one, you've actually got jeepneys, and these are like really cheap, big old American trucks where you can just jump in and they take you down a road. Jeepneys are quite hard to navigate, but if you ask the driver, they can help you out. Also in the Philippines, you get tricycles, motorbike taxis, which in Filipino they call habal-habal, and then you also do have tuk-tuks in some places. These are really good and cheap ways to get around like your local town or village or get to your hotel. Also in major cities like Manila and Cebu, then they actually have the Grab app, so you can order taxis on your phone. I'm going to be talking about other transportation from buses, ferries, flights, all of that stuff later in the video, so stay tuned. So number three is how friendly and helpful the Filipino people are. They are so hospitable, they will help you out in any situation, and also their English is incredibly good. The best English, I think, anywhere in Southeast Asia. Even the children can speak lots of English, and that's because they actually learn it in school. So you can actually have conversations with them, and they often like to practice their English too. So number four is don't spend too long in Manila and Cebu. These are big cities, there's quite a bit of traffic, and honestly, the best stuff is the island, the beaches, the coral reefs. That's where the good stuff, and that's where you should spend your time. So number five is talking about SIM cards. I personally used a smart SIM card, and I highly recommend it. I had really good connection, and you can actually top it up from your phone. The other thing to use is an eSIM. I've used two companies, and that is Nomad and Airalo, and both of these have really good connection and good deals. I've actually got discount codes for both of them, so if you want to use them and get some money off your first eSIM, then you can. Let's talk about transportation. And if you didn't know, the Philippines has over 7,000 islands, which is partly what makes it so beautiful, but also really hard to travel around. Obviously, taking just buses is not possible. You're gonna have to take ferries or flights. And obviously, flights is the most comfortable and the quickest way, but it does cost more money. The other way you can do it is take ferries, and these are quite uncomfortable and can take quite a lot of time, but they are cheap. Moving on to number seven, I'm going to talk about booking transportation, because it is not as easy as any travel agency in Thailand. In Thailand, it's so easy, you can go anywhere, ask a hotel, and they'll book it for you. However, in the Philippines, it's more difficult. There's a couple of different ways it works. Sometimes you actually have to go to the port and book your ferry for tomorrow or that day, or another way you can do it is actually use bookaway.com. I've used these before, and you can book online, you can use card, it is so good, and then you don't have to go anywhere to physically book it. I'll leave a link in the description to bookaway.com. Sometimes you actually have to go to the bus station and book your ticket just before you go, or sometimes like a day in advance for ferries, but it always changes. The best thing to do is ask your hotel, and hopefully they can help you out. Now moving on to number eight, let's talk about a daily budget. Everyone wants to know, how much is this trip gonna cost me? And it is honestly more expensive than other countries in Southeast Asia. There are a few things which make the Philippines a little bit more expensive. One of these is like the activities, like the island hopping tours, the canyoneering, but also a lot of backpackers tend to eat more Western food rather than Filipino food. And honestly, this costs more money. You don't get big street food places like in Thailand or Vietnam, and again, this will make things cost more money. Use this as a little bit of a guide, but I would budget at least £30 a day minimum. You can do it less than that, but you're going to be eating a lot of local Filipino food and long transportation journeys. Also, this £30 daily budget does not include flights, so just keep that into account. Not internal flights around the country. Don't swim with the whale sharks in Oslo. A lot of people do it still, and honestly, it is really not good for the whale sharks. Whale sharks should be migrating all the way around Southeast Asia, but they are just staying in this small town, Oslo, and that is because they're feeding them loads of fish every day. And the whale sharks are vertical, which makes it really bad because they're just feeding fish with their mouths out of the water. Honestly, If you want to swim with whale sharks, there are other beautiful places to visit in the Philippines like Don Sul and another island I've forgotten the name of. Do it naturally, do it properly, don't just give in to the mass tourism. There are so many people swimming with whale sharks and it's just not good for them. So moving on to number 10, let's talk about accommodation. So there's hotels, hostels, guest houses, but honestly, compared to somewhere like Thailand or Bali, you don't get as good value for your money. For £20 a night in Thailand, you'll probably get a really nice hotel room, but in the Philippines, you won't get anywhere near that. The way to do this is to stay in hostels or guest houses or pensions. These are a lot cheaper stays and I highly recommend them. That's how we travel the Philippines, cheaper. 2 hostels I will recommend is Outpost Hostel in Coron and then Friends Hostel in El Nido. These hostels are amazing and have swimming pools with amazing views. Just do it, they're really good. So number 11 is renting a scooter in the Philippines. Honestly, it's probably the best way of getting around most places and they normally cost 250 pesos to 400 pesos a day, depending on the time of the year and availability and all that kind of stuff. Unlike in Thailand, they probably won't make you deposit anything like your passport or cash, and so you can just ride off, but please wear your helmet, you don't want to crash. So number 12 is visas and entry requirements to the Philippines. You actually don't need to do anything beforehand for most countries. You get a free 30-day visa stamp on arrival. This is only for 30 days, but you can actually extend it if you want to at immigration offices. I haven't done it myself, but just look online and have a look for other people who have. So number 13 is something I didn't know until very recently, and that is service water is mandatory. So if you're going into a restaurant or anywhere and you ask for service water, you don't actually have to pay for that, which is really good because it means you don't have to waste plastic and buy plastic bottles of water. Lots of the Philippines are really up to date with ecotourism, no plastic, and honestly, they are so much better for the environment than other places like Thailand. Sorry, Thailand. So number 14 is all about the island hopping tours. These are honestly some of the best days in the Philippines. They are so much fun. You basically get a boat and you go out to the islands, whether you're in Coron, El Nido, Boracay or Siargao. These are the best days. You often get a big buffet, boodle fight lunch, and you just eat your life out and then carry on with your island hopping day. You can actually book these tours online and I'll leave a link in the description, but you can also book them with like your hotel or hostel, wherever you're staying. So yeah, do what you want, however you feel. Now this is the last one and probably my favorite to tell you all about, and that is where to go in the Philippines. But before I do, please hit the subscribe button. I've given you all this information for free just because I want you to go to the Philippines as I love it so much. So please just hit subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. I'm going to be giving you a 1-month action-packed itinerary for the Philippines. This is going to be all the best places. And let's start with Palawan. Start in Coron in the north and then head down to El Nido, Port Barton, and then go to Puerto Princesa and fly over to Cebu. From Cebu, go down to Malbol, do the epic canyoneering, and then go down to Siquijor Island, this magical island. Then head over to Panglao Bohol, see the chocolate hills, and then head back to Cebu to fly over to Siargao, the surf island. I'd spend a week there surfing. There's also lots of activities to do, which I mentioned in one of my other videos. I'll leave down below. That is your 1 month in the Philippines, but 2 other highly suggested places to go is 1, Camiguin Island, which has this epic sandbar with this massive volcano in the background. Honestly, it is beautiful and it's just a 3-hour ferry ride from Bohol, so you can do that. And the other place is really remote, and that is Balabac Islands. This is like the Maldives of the Philippines. It is absolutely beautiful and there is hardly any tourists there. So please don't tell too many people. Just go there, experience it, see the turtles, see the sandbars, see this beautiful, beautiful islands. Yeah, message me about it because it's epic. I forgot a couple of really important things which I forgot to mention in this video, which I get asked quite a bit. And the first one is about safety in the Philippines. Honestly, we felt really safe most of the time. Even in Manila, well, personally, I really didn't feel threatened, even though you hear these stories of being, you know, more of a dangerous city. However, Emilia experienced when she was by herself that it just wasn't quite as safe. She got a lot more attention from the men when she was without me, and so she just didn't want that attention, but she never actually felt like physically threatened. So that's just something to take into account if you are a solo female. The other thing is you need travel insurance, and Emilia and I use Safety Wing, and I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure you're covered before you come to the Philippines or anywhere on your travels. Okay, that's it. There we go. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching it. Again, please hit subscribe. It helps us to keep traveling, sharing this advice, sharing these epic places with you, and yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!